Hello, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Blossom's Workforce Academy. I'm Paul Sturdgess, and I'm your host this evening for our second in our series of Facebook Live chats. And this evening, we're talking about assisted living. And I am going to be your host, as I say. My name is Paul Sturdgess. I'm the CEO of Blossom's Workforce Academy, and it's my pleasure to be with you this evening. Hopefully you got to see the live broadcast of the CMA workshop that we did 2 weeks ago. We were absolutely overwhelmed with inquiries after that session. So we were really pleased about that. So thank you very much for your support. We truly appreciate it. So my name's Paul. The reason why I am going to be hosting tonight's assisted living conversation is that I am a core trainer in the state of Florida with the Department of Elder Affairs for assisted living communities. So what that means is that my role in the state of Florida, among other core trainers, is to ensure that all new administrators and managers are in compliance and understand the expectations of the Florida statute and the Florida Administrative Code in terms of how to successfully operate a high quality assisted living community. Now, extending beyond that, what we need to do as core trainers is to provide at a minimum 26 hours of core training for would-be administrators and managers within the assisted living community. And then for those individuals, once they've completed that process, to go on to take their state core competency examination. And once they've completed their core competency examination and they've completed that, then they can successfully manage an assisted living facility. But we're going to come back onto that later, but I just wanted to brief you on why I'm leading on tonight's session. Also, coupled with that, I do have the experience of managing my own assisted living facilities here in the state of Florida and, of course, across the seas in the United Kingdom. So hello to all of our Blossoms Care Services Limited staff in the UK. We miss you, we love you, and thank you very much for your support. Blossom's Workforce Academy is here in DeLand in Florida, and our goal is to primarily ensure that we offer high quality training to all of our customers and students who come through the academy. Our goal is that we want to be able to give you not only the information and the skills and the knowledge that you need to be successful, but also to be part of a family environment, so that when you go away from here as a student, not only do you go away with your certificate feeling confident and competent, but also knowing that you can come back to us at any time to ask for our help and assistance. That's what we're here for. Truly, that's what we believe in. And equally, from an assisted living standpoint, that's what we want everybody who's involved in assisted living to feel like, that when you go in to the assisted living environment, whether that be as a staff member, as a family member, as a resident, as a professional, that you should be going into a home-like environment and everybody feels like family. So that's really important. I want to do a 3-step process tonight through our Facebook Live conversation. So first of all, I want to take assisted living from the perspective of a caregiver working in an assisted living environment, what they can expect, what training they should need, so on and so forth. So that a caregiver, somebody who wants to go into the caregiving job within assisted living, understands what may be expected of them. Because sometimes it can be a shock, because there are different types of assisted living, and I want you all to be clear on the different types that there are out there. My second perspective will be from the administrator or the manager's perspective, and sometimes administrators and managers are called executive directors. So this is also applicable to somebody who sees the title executive director. They equally need to understand the administrator manager responsibilities. So I want to talk to you a bit about that. Then my final group that I want to reach out to is families and loved ones who are thinking about maybe this is a time for them to look at assisted living as an opportunity of their forever home, and what they can do, the resources out there to support them in looking for that forever home that they know that they can reach out to make the best decision. So that's the three perspectives that I'd really like to focus on this evening. If you are watching this live video now and you wish to ask any questions, then please write them into the comments section. And as I see the comments pop up, then hopefully I'll be able to give you an answer. If I can't give you an answer for any reason, then I will go away and find out the answer and come back to you, because that's what I feel is best practice. Okay. So let's start at the top then, okay? And I always say that our caregivers really are the foundations of our assisted living facilities, as well as obviously our residents, who are our top priority. Our caregivers are there as our backbone. They are the ones that support us. So first of all, if you are looking to be a caregiver or you are a caregiver within assisted living, let me give you some information on what types of assisted living there are. So in the state of Florida, every assisted living has to initially be a standard licensed facility. So everybody follows standards, policies and procedures, admissions criteria for assisted living. That is a given within the state of Florida. However, beyond that, people can choose, the owners, operators of assisted living can choose to add on what we call specialty licenses. So specialty licenses are where you're choosing as an owner operator to explore and possibly support a wider dimension of the community. So we have limited mental health, which is often abbreviated to LMH. We have limited nursing services, which is LNS, and also extended congregate care services, ECC. And caregivers can work in all three of those environments. The training is slightly different if you work in an extended congregate care facility and a limited mental health service, for example, as you need to have some additional training to make sure you're fully confident in the population that you may be working with. Don't let that worry you, because it's all about learning. It's all about a learning experience, okay? So, and they are great. For example, the excitement around extended congregate care services is that somebody can age in place. They can actually stay in that environment for as long as possible prior to possibly having to make a transfer to a nursing home. The concept of ECC is to try and keep them in the home environment for as long as possible. So therefore, the staff would need additional training, because they're going to have more total care needs that need to be met by the staff who are there within the facility. So don't forget this. Everybody is a standard licensed facility, but some owner operators choose to add on specialty licenses. So you've got your limited mental health, limited nursing services, and extended congregate care services. So whichever license your facility that you choose to go and work in, or you currently work in, has, your expectations are not going to be really significantly different in terms of you as an individual, okay? So when I'm recruiting, or when my colleagues are recruiting, and we often talk, owner operators and administrators, about what we look for in our candidates, one of the top priorities is that we want to see passion and compassion and motivation. We want to see that the caregivers coming through are absolutely 100% committed to giving high quality care to the residents within our communities. That is most important, because An assisted living must feel like a home-like environment, least restrictive. And if you want to look at the Florida statute, it quite clearly says in there that it should be home-like, least restrictive. So we want people to come in who have got that family commitment, that family tie to give the best possible care to the resident. And that's first and foremost the most important. What else we're looking for within staff, within assisted living facilities, is a great work ethic. We want somebody who's going to come into the facility, into the community, who is really going to step up and really be that person who is going to be on time for their shifts, who is committed to all the activities that are required of them during their day-to-day routine. So it's key that you have a really, really great work ethic. Ultimately, what we're also looking for is people who have the correct training or who are willing to learn. Not everybody, especially if you're in for the first time coming into assisted living and you think, oh, can I do this? Yes, you can, but you may need that specific training. So what we are looking for in our assisted living staff are staff that are comfortable with working with medications, because you're going to need to do 6 hours of training to become an unlicensed trained member of staff who can support with the self-administration of medication. So that's a 6-hour class. Then we've got other topics that we look for in our staff, such as have you completed your CPR, first aid, and in some cases AED training. So are you going to be confident in the event that, God forbid, we find a resident who's unresponsive? We want you to know that you're going to be able to do the best you can to either sustain life or obviously support that person through that end of life transition in the best possible way. So there's just 2 examples of some training that we're going to be looking for from our staff. Whenever you go into an assisted living as a caregiver, you need to make sure that when you go into that job role, that somebody is going to give you a really good orientation. So we are now required, assisted living facilities are now required to do what we call a pre-orientation, pre-service orientation, which is at least 2 hours. And that talks about elements of working practices such as understanding resident rights, understanding emergency procedures, what to do if there's an incident or an accident. So that first 2 hours is really important to acclimatize you as a new caregiver into your assisted living environment. Further on from that, you're expected to do other trainings within at least 30 days. Okay, so we look at trainings such as do not resuscitate orders. We look at HIV and AIDS. We look at food handling in assisted living facilities. And these are all elements which your assisted living facility provider who you've gone to work for should be providing you during your orientation period. As a new caregiver, you can be expected that you're going to be asked for a background screening to be completed through the Agency for Healthcare Administration, because we need to make sure that everybody who's working in the assisted living environment is what we class as eligible to work in a healthcare sector, looking after the most vulnerable of people. So we need to make sure that the people we employ conform with all the background screening requirements. You will also be asked to complete a physical and a TB test. Often the TB test is referred to as a PPD, and you'll need to go to a local healthcare provider or physician who can conduct that 1-step or 2-step process for you, depending on what your provider, what your employer requires you to have to become a caregiver. Ultimately, though, from the perspective of the caregiver, as I said to you earlier, we're looking for people who have got passion and drive and commitment, because the residents who live within that assisted living facility, they look to you as their safety net, their security. They want to know the people who are surrounding them are trusting, that you believe in them. Everybody who we support in our assisted living communities has a biography. You know, they've had lots and lots and lots of life experience. So one of the other real positives from being a caregiver and working within the assisted living community is that you meet so many people with such histories and such knowledge that you learn from them as much as the director or the person who's training with you. You equally learn as much from your. Apologies if we had a brief pause there. The weather is bad, so there might have been a brief pause in the video. I do apologize. We are back on track. Thank you for my viewers who are still watching. I appreciate that. If anybody's got any questions, then please put them into the comments section. I really appreciate that. So that was a little bit of a profile on what caregivers can expect when they go into the assisted living facilities. And just to top that off as well, I just want to say that some facilities, some of the larger facilities, the expectations in your job role might be different to working in, say, a small facility, which is maybe a 6 or a 10 bed. In 6 bed or 10 bed facilities, you are generally referred to as a universal worker. So you will have to complete tasks such as cleaning. You will be asked to look after the residents, to do some cooking, be involved in activities. It's a very eclectic, very mixed role that you're doing, but you're really essential to the day-to-day welfare of those residents. In some of the larger facilities, they will have different departments that take care of all those different aspects. So you might have an activities director or a dietary manager and a chef who's doing the cooking. So it all depends on what kind of environment you work in as to what your job description will be. But don't forget, as I said, the orientation period is about introducing you to your job role, to your job specifications. So please make sure that when you're looking for your job description and you're talking with your trainer or your HR director or the person who you're shadowing, that you get familiar with what your job role is going to entail. We don't want you to be shocked or overwhelmed. No owner or operator wants that for you. So if you're unsure about anything, just ask a question, and I'm sure somebody will help you. Or you can just give me a call at the academy and I'll be happy to give you some advice. Not a problem at all. Okay. I want to move on to talk about administrators and managers. And I talked earlier on in this evening's Facebook Live session about the training. So to be an administrator or manager or an executive director in the state of Florida, you need to have completed at least 26 hours as a minimum of core training. And the core training comprises of looking through 10 mandatory subjects that the Department of Elder Affairs have committed to us as core trainers that we have to teach, as well as there's an 11th module that we can teach as well, which is down to our choosing on aspects of assisted living that we feel are really important for you to know as new administrators and managers. Then following on from that, as I said earlier, you will go on to take your core competency test. And here in Florida, we generally do that through the University of South Florida, USF. And you go on to take your core competency. And once you've passed your core competency, you will get a lovely certificate and a little card that will have your ID number on. And that means you are now officially an administrator or manager qualified in the state of Florida. And if you're already in a position, and you can be in a position of an administrator for up to 90 days or 3 months, but within that 90 days or 3 months, you must have passed the core competency and done your core training. So what's it like when you become an administrator or manager? Well, nobody's going to lie to you. Nobody's going to say to you, good evening, Gavin. I see that you joined. Gavin's one of our lovely staff over in the UK. It's great to have you join us, Gavin. Thank you. We I want to be honest with you. When you go in to be an administrator or manager, it can be quite overwhelming at first if you've never done it before. So make sure you take time out to get to know your staff, get to know your residents, get to know your environment as an assisted living administrator. You want to make sure that you feel comfortable, because to lead your team, you need to understand the complexities of the environmental factors, your staff needs, your resident needs, to really make the biggest impact. So first of all, take a step back. Don't try and do everything at once. Even if you're walking into a community where unfortunately it may have deficiencies and you're going to feel rushed into obviously correcting deficiencies, take a step back first and then take your first steps forward. Okay, you don't want to rush into it. As an administrator, manager, executive director, your biggest responsibility is to the residents, to make sure that the operations within your assisted living facility are the best that they can possibly be, that they're in compliance with the Florida statutes and the Florida Administrative Code, so that you know you are giving the best quality of care to your residents, as we know they are your utmost priority. Our other biggest role is often as a mentor, as an administrator or manager. Our role is to give the advice, the guidance, keep everybody in compliance naturally, but to be that listening ear, to hear what people are saying, making sure that you keep connected with your family, with your residents, and with your staff. Okay, and that can be difficult, especially if you're in a large community. Maybe you've got 100 staff, you maybe got 100 residents, and you think, gosh, can I do this? Yes, the most simplest activities can maintain your connection as an assisted living administrator. For example, there's some communities out there where the administrators might have lunch with the residents or lunch with the staff. They have various events that they will go to and encourage the participation of staff and residents alike and family alike. There are ways in which you can keep connected within your community. I always speak to my students who come through to be administrators and managers about the different resources that are out there to you as administrators and managers. Don't forget, networking is really important. So there are organisations out there, local organisations, especially in Volusia County, where you can go to. For example, I'm going to give you several community groups here in Volusia who you might like to go and meet. So, for example, today, and I'm actually wearing my T-shirt. I don't know if you can make it out, but there's FALA, which is the Florida Assisted Living Association. So that is a big organization within Florida. They advocate on behalf of assisted living facilities. So they keep us up to date with legislative changes. They might fight for aspects of legislation that have gone through that maybe don't seem practical to the assisted living community. So they will fight on our behalf to make sure that it's appropriate and it's great for what we do. But also FALA are there to advocate for us and give us education. So I'm the treasurer of our local FALA chapter in Volusia, Savannah. And for example, today our presentation, our meeting was on medical marijuana and the impact that that might have on assisted living facilities. And we had Ricky, who was a lawyer, who came and spoke to us about the legal implications. So that was a great learning experience. And every month throughout the year, we have different speakers who come and talk. But FALA are a liaison. You can become a member, and it's great to become a member of FALA because you have that overarching umbrella to you as an administrator, manager, owner, operator, to support you and guide you. So I would very much recommend joining FALA naturally. So you have those, but you also have smaller, more intimate, if you like, community groups. So we have COPE, which is on the east side and the west side of Volusia. We have SNAPS, which is another meeting that we have on the east side, which is run by Tina Carlisle. COPE is run by Marjorie Marcus, Tammy from Haven Hospice. We have other groups such as Impact. And apologies if I don't mention them all. I just want to make sure everyone's aware of the different groups that are out there, the different networking groups that are available to administrators and managers to go and seek out colleagues. We all need that person who we can talk to. So also, from an administrator and manager point of view, you are an ambassador for quality care, as I said to you. So networking obviously supports that. And also from a marketing perspective, especially if you're a small community, you want to, as the administrator manager, go out there and market for your community. And if you're not a natural marketer, that can be a big step for you as well. So if you've not done marketing, for example, I know that there's a class coming up, for example, Career Source Volusia Flag that are running called Marketing 101. Go and find yourself a marketing class that you can join in and just build your confidence up on the subject. I wasn't always, and I'm still not in some cases, a natural marketer. So I certainly will be going to the Marketing 101. But there's lots of opportunities out there. Contact your local Chamber of Commerce. So the DeLand Chamber of Commerce, Daytona Chamber of Commerce, Ormond Beach. They've all got great opportunities there for you to join local businesses, business networking groups. So for you as administrators and managers, there's lots of resources. Two of the biggest resources for administrators and managers in the state of Florida are obviously the Agency of Healthcare Administration website, and you go onto the licensee licensee tabs, and go in there. There's all the information that you need. Just click on the assisted living button that's on the website, and you will see a lot of information there. In terms of assisted living, including the statutes and the codes that are relevant. So, for example, AHCA, also the Agency of Healthcare Administration, also offer online learning opportunities, especially when they bring out something new. So, for example, AHCA for assisted living have just released the Emergency Safety Systems website, which is a new website which we have to go on to and upload information about how we're managing our emergency planning within our community. So they've been doing some webinars on how to use that most effectively. So there are always opportunities for learning experiences through the agency's website. But also one of the other essential websites that you'll need as an administrator and manager is the FloridaHealthFinder.gov website. Which is a website that is utilized by the general public as well as we can utilize it as administrators or managers. And that's a website which is indirectly managed by the Agency of Healthcare Administration. It is there as an information portal for people looking for assisted living and all other types of healthcare. It's an information network highway, if you like. And you can log on and go into that. And if you click on, for example, type of facility, locality of facility, you go on there and click on assisted living facilities in your area, and you can find all the assisted livings. And if you're an administrator or manager, that's really good to look at because you can see what the trends and patterns are, for example, on surveys that are being completed by the agency in your area. So, for example, the last couple of years, there's been trends in elopement, in dietary food service. You can see trends that they're looking at. So it helps you prepare, if you like, for survey, helps you quality assure your assisted living. So there are lots of ways in which websites like Florida Health Finder.gov, the Agency Healthcare Administration website, you're networking, go into a local file or chapter meeting. That will really boost your confidence, especially if you're a new administrator or manager in assisted living. So do utilize those experiences. As an administrator, make sure that you prepare yourself. We do face challenges as administrators and managers, whether that be through staff scheduling, whether that be through unscheduled resident needs. Be prepared for that. Understand that, and I've worked in healthcare for 23, 24 years now, and you always have to plan for the unplanned. It's never going to run exactly how you think it's going to run. So always think to yourself, okay, this is the plan now, but in an hour's time, that might not be the plan. So just make sure you have a backup to the backup, if you like. So keep it real for yourself, so that you don't have any surprises. I want to take it now to the perspective of the family. So talking about families, but before I do that, I just want to tag on to the end of the administrator's part. Don't forget, if you are an administrator, you need to get those 12 hours of continuing education in every 2 years. Make sure you do that, because to maintain your ID number and to maintain your status as an administrator, you need to do those 12 hours of continuing education, and make sure they're in different subjects. Okay, they need to be in different subjects. And so, for example, if you work in a memory care unit as an administrator, make sure that some of your CEUs are related to memory care activity, because that's going to be really important. The surveyor is going to drill down on those CEUs, continuing education unit, and make sure that they're very specific to your environment. That's what they want to see. Families. So let's talk about families. Assisted living is a big step to make a decision on whether you're the individual who's deciding I need to, maybe I need that higher level of care and support, or simply I just want to know that there's a network of support around me. It's a big step. We often talk about moving from home into assisted living is a loss, because in some cases you're going from maybe a 3-bedroom home into a 1-room or a small apartment within an assisted living. So you're losing some of your possessions. You're losing in your mindset. You might be losing some of your independence. And our goal within assisted living as administrators and managers and caregivers is to make sure you don't have that sense of loss, but naturally you do feel that. And also for family members who are looking for their loved one, that can often come with some very deep emotions attached to it. Guilt, for example. Oh my goodness, should I not be looking after mum, dad, aunt, for myself? Oh gosh, I feel absolutely dreadful about that. Don't feel that way. It's natural. We don't need to feel that way. That's why assisted livings are there, is to give you that support network. But I wanted to make sure that you understood, what to be looking for in an assisted living facility. It's a sad fact of life that we go through the circle of life, and we do need that support sometimes. And that's what we are here for. All owners and operators of assisted living facilities are here because we want to offer that environment, that home-like environment, the least restrictive environment to your loved one or to yourself if you're looking for assisted living. So the first step I would always say to somebody who's looking for assisted living, whether it's you or whether it's your family members who are looking on your behalf, is to utilize the floridahealthfinder.gov website, because it has all of the assisted living facilities within the state of Florida on there, and it has all of the recent surveys or inspections so you can see how they're performing as an assisted living facility. So it's a great resource if you're initially thinking about it, and you are able to look at it in your locality. So you can drill down on Volusia County, Seminole, Miami-Dade. You can go through the different counties and find out what assisted living facilities are in your area. You can see whether they're big or small because it'll tell you what their license capacity or their census is. So you'll see whether they're small, 6-bed, or whether they're 160 beds. So you can see, is this going to be the right environment for my loved one? So you can also see on the FloridaHealthFinder.gov website, what types of activities do they do? What kind of nursing support do they have? What type of financial support do they offer? Do they accept, for example, Medicaid? Do they accept Veterans Aid or veteran support from the VA? So there's lots of information that is on there that can be very, very supportive. I wanted to give a shout out to some of my colleagues in the local area in Volusia County who work tirelessly as senior placement advisors, working with families, which is completely a free of charge service to you as a family member or an individual who's looking for assisted living. We've got some very experienced senior placement advisors in Volusia County, and we're very blessed on that. So I just wanted to share with you a few of those. If I missed anybody, I apologize. I just wanted to share a couple. So we have Assisted Living Made Simple, Rose Trow. We have Community Senior Advisors with Ellen. We have Alethea Placement Services, Desiree Villanova. Desiree, if you're watching, I hope I said Alethea correctly. I've been practicing it all day. We also have Oasis with Tom Mondlock. So there's at least four there, different senior placement organisations who can help you or your loved one find their forever home. And all of those individuals are very passionate about what they do. So I'm really, really, really proud to be one of their colleagues in the local area. Hi there, Luz. Good to see you this evening. I love your heart face. Thank you so much. Hope you're having a good evening. So when you are looking for an assisted living facility, as I said earlier, you want to make sure that you can go in and it feels like home. Every assisted living facility should feel like home. You shouldn't necessarily walk in and think, oh, it's very clinical. It's more nursing. We want you to feel like it's a home from home. Make sure that you go when it's unannounced. You don't have to plan ahead. You can go and visit. A lot of communities welcome you to just come in and say hi, take a tour. Normally there's somebody around who can give you a tour, so that you can see what goes on, and that you can feel the environment for yourself and for your loved one. And if you are the individual who's looking for assisted living, it's a good opportunity to see what kind of activities are going on. What does the menu look like for the day? Do they do the foods you like? And don't forget, even if you're on a special diet, a lot of assisted living facilities cater for special diets, therapeutic diets. So make sure that you share that with them, so they're going to be able to tell you whether or not they can meet your needs through your special therapeutic diet. Make sure you talk to people. See if people come and talk to you. You want to feel like you can communicate with the staff and the management teams within the assisted living facility. So don't forget to ask questions. Take a checklist before you go. Make sure you write down all the questions you want to ask, because sometimes when you go for your tour, all of these questions kind of disappear out of your mind and you think, oh, I should have asked. Don't forget, write all the questions down you want to ask before you go. And that also applies to caregivers who are looking for jobs in assisted living facilities. So we talked about our caregivers earlier on in the session. Don't forget, if you're going to a new job, ask questions when you're there. Most interviews give you the opportunity to ask questions. So if you want to ask the question, write them down so that you can ask your manager or the person who's interviewing you at the time the questions that you want to know the answers to. So don't be afraid to do that either. Going back to my families, obviously, making that decision to move into an assisted living facility, as we said earlier, can be very daunting and can be very scary. Always feel that you can reach out to me if you have any questions too. I can always signpost you to one of our senior placement colleagues locally that I talked about earlier, who will be able to help you. Don't be out there trying to do this on your own. If it's worrying you, if it's concerning you, don't worry about that. Okay, there are a network of people out there to support you. I want to just talk to you about how to contact us here at Blossom's Workforce Academy. So Blossom's Workforce Academy is in Deland. It's on South Woodland Boulevard, 2235 South Woodland Boulevard. We are a small academy, so for all of our students who come here, and you can see from the board beside me, we offer a range of classes, and these are just a few of them. So we're talking about assisted living, so we do the assisted living administrative core training. We do the assistance with self-administration of medications, which is a 6-hour class to prepare staff for the being trained unlicensed staff, so that they can support residents with their medications in the communities. And there have been recent changes as well. It used to be a 4-hour class. It's now a 6-hour class because there were some changes to the medication practices in the Florida Administrative Code. So our nurse, Monica Petrakos, who is our instructor, has worked tirelessly to include all of those new skills within our 6-hour program. And it's very hands-on. The new skills are very hands-on. She has you doing your glucometer checks. So don't think you're just here to listen. You're here to learn it too. So we do those classes. We also do Serve Safe Food Manager. So if you're working in an assisted living facility and you're responsible for food service, then you might want to consider doing the Serve Safe Food Protection Manager class, which I teach, and we also proctor the examination. We also, thank you very much, Luz. Thank you for saying that. I truly appreciate it. I do try to inspire. That is my goal. So thank you. I really appreciate that comment. So yes, we do offer the Serve Safe Food Protection Manager class. We also offer the First Aid, CPR, and AED, which all assisted living caregivers do definitely need first aid and CPR. And some of the larger facilities will have an expectation to have the AEDs, automated external defibrillators, because they have them on site. So we have the American Red Cross version, but we also, for those people who work in healthcare who maybe are nurses, we offer the American Heart Association basic life support classes, as well as the American Red Cross basic life support class, because some healthcare providers prefer one or the other, either American Heart or American Red Cross. So we do offer that as well. We also offer food safety updates. We offer Alzheimer's level 1 and level 2. We offer the HIV and AIDS class. We offer certified nursing assistant training. So we do the test preparation certified nursing assistants. And a lot of assisted living facilities now are actually recruiting certified nursing assistants. They don't have to, but some of them are because they want to maybe they're raising the expectations of what skill sets they want within their assisted living facilities. So some facilities are actually recruiting CNAs into their facilities, but we also offer that training. We are a prometric in facility testing centre, and if it's in the previous online series about certified nursing assistants, we do test out our students here as well at the academy, so you can learn here and test here. We have to wait for the dates from Prometric, the state testing organisation, but we do offer that facility here as well. So we also have our balloon and arts and crafts that we offer. So we are very diverse in the training that we offer. So we offer healthcare, general business, such as leadership and management, customer service. And then on the other extreme, we offer balloons. So if you're interested in wanting to learn how to craft a balloon, then we can arrange for you to come and have lessons on how to become a balloon artist and do balloon art. So we do offer a range here at the Workforce Academy in the lab. So you are welcome to stop by and see us. We do have a website, which is www.blossomsllc.org. That's www.blossomsllc.org. So you can go and check out our website. Naturally, we have our Blossoms Workforce Academy Facebook page, and we've had some lovely reviews on our Facebook page lately. I'm really blessed. So thank you to all of those people who are leaving reviews for us. We appreciate that very, 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 very much. You can call us at 386-873-6064. So that's 386-873-6064. And you can also email me if you would like to at Blossoms, which is BLOSSOMS, period, Paul Sturdgess, PAULSTURDGESS at live.com. And I'm blessed to work with Monica Petrakos, our RN nurse, and also Robin Doherty, our community liaison manager, and also our American Red Cross instructor. So I'm blessed to have a really good team of people around us here at the Academy. So just to summarize today's session, so we started off talking about, from the perspective of a caregiver, what they can expect, the training that they can expect. Remember that orientation into your role is really important. Making sure that you've got all the training, your background screenings, your PPDs, your physicals. They're all aspects that prospective employers are going to be looking for, but also you as a caregiver should expect from your employer for them to be asking you to complete. Remembering that work ethic, we want people out there who are really committed to our residents, to looking after them. From the administrator's perspective, remember the core training. I am a core trainer. We do offer the core training here, so feel free to contact me if you want to do your core training. Remembering your 12 hours of continuing education, really, really important. And remember, being an administrator, manager, caregiver, you have good days, you have bad days. Some days are stressful, some days are stress-free. That's the nature of healthcare, but it stops everything being boring, that's for sure. We certainly have fun. We enjoy looking after our residents, and everybody who works in healthcare will tell you that being in healthcare is rewarding, absolutely, and you do feel certainly accomplished in everything that you do. And ultimately, you're an ambassador for quality care, so do remember that. And then from the family perspective, I hope you've been able to see that there are resources out there to support you. Remember to go and visit the assisted living facilities. That's really important for you to go and visit. I've given you a couple of resources, floridahealthfinder.gov, the Agency for Healthcare Administration. There's also consumer tabs on that website, so do go and check that out as well. There are also groups like the Long-Term Care Ombudsman. They are out there. Thank you very much, Jared. I appreciate your feedback. Good evening. I hope you're doing well. Great to see you. The Long-Term Care Ombudsman, they are out there to advocate. They're all volunteers. They do a wonderful job. They go and visit residents in assisted living facilities, so you can contact them as well. So that's really another good outlet if you are a family looking for your loved one, or you are an individual looking for an assisted living facility. So I hope this evening's session has given 3 different perspectives. As I said, the caregiver, the administrator, manager, through to being a family member who's looking for assisted living. I'm always here. If you need to ask me a question, you absolutely can. I do check my emails frequently, my text messages frequently. So if you have a question and you want to ask me and it's out of hours, still send me a text or an email. My cell phone number is 386-682-9759. If it is out of hours, I will try to get to it as quickly as I possibly can to give you a response, because things happen. They don't always happen 9 till 5 or 9 till 8 in the evening. Sometimes you've got a question at 10 o'clock at night. It's a burning question and you want to ask that question. Send it through to me. I will try and answer it if I can. If not, I'll get to it as soon as I possibly can. So please, please, please don't be afraid to reach out to us. Blossom's Workforce Academy, as I said, is a family-orientated community service. So please come to us, come stop in, see us, tour with us, reach out to us. We're here to train you. We're here to give you good knowledge to help you feel competent, confident, and comfortable in your workplace. Okay. I will be keeping my eye on the comments section for the next few minutes. We're just almost at 7 o'clock, which is the time I normally give for the session. I will keep an eye on the comments through the evening and through tomorrow morning. So if you're watching this at 3 o'clock in the morning, why aren't you sleeping and getting good sleep for your brain? But if you are, good evening. It's lovely to see you again. Please leave your comments and I'll be happy to answer them as soon as I'm able to. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. It's been an absolute pleasure. I've enjoyed talking to you. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the people who are watching. Thank you for supporting Blossom's Workforce Academy. We truly are here for you. Thank you very much. Please have a safe evening. I want to send our best wishes from Blossom's Workforce Academy to the Carolinas as Hurricane Florence moves forward. We love you guys. We want you to keep safe. And please, please, please look after each other. And for everybody in Florida, if you're on the coast, don't forget those swells and those rip tides are still there. So please keep safe here in Florida too. And on a day-to-day basis, look after each other, love each other, be strong for each other. And I will see you next time on our next series and our next live Facebook chat. Have a great evening, everybody. It's been a pleasure. Have a wonderful night. Goodbye. Bye-bye.